All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I begin, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honor to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad through all the four corners of the earth. So these Americans, while they're focused on these elections, they don't even understand right now that a blow to the financial system is already beginning, with BRICS rolling out this new currency. And they just had a summit where 30 plus nations participated. And there's a lot of other nations that are looking to join the whole BRICS alliance. So this is all part of the escalation of the de-dollarization of your currency. So this spells turmoil, right, in the near future, and the Americans are really going to feel it when they realize that their purchasing power, using the Petro dollar, the U.S. dollar, they're going to see that it's not, it's soaring. It's getting worse. All right, so this is why you got to, pay attention. The scriptures say to, watch as well as pray. All right. So we already know what the next step is. The world is jumping on this trend to get away from the U.S. dollar. We already know what that spells for the economy. And we're just watching every domino fall where it may. But it's all going to lead to the downfall of this wicked kingdom. Just to quote Jeremiah, Babylon is fallen. All right. That we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Take balm for her pain, So anyway, there's just a little clip on it. All right, where, highlights Putin's speech on how he's, vowing to, create a new currency that's an alternative to the Petro, especially since the U.S. has weaponized its currency against the world, by, trying to dictate through their policy, and whoever doesn't follow their policy, they immediately throw tariffs on them, make it hard to use their currency, so they're creating alternatives around, the use of this particular currency, which weakens it. All right. So we already know where this is heading. OK. So let's listen real quick.
World order is forming, Putin tells growing BRICS summit. Vladimir Putin proclaimed the start of a new world order as his allies rush to sign up to a Kremlin-led economic club at a summit in Russia. The Russian president will more than double the size of the BRICS bloc by the time he leaves Kazan.
And what this is showing is that more of these nations are, this is like them openly expressing that they're against the dominancy of the West, primarily America. They're taking a stance against the dominant posture of the West. So they're coming up under the leadership of Russia and the alliance that they're forming. All right. That way that they don't have to deal with economic consequences, dealing with tariffs, sanctions, them cutting you off. So they're going around that now. And the prophecy tells you that there will be a assembly of nations that will be in league with the northern country, and that northern country being Russia. So we're seeing this in real time. Which proves what the scriptures is saying is true. All right, Habakkuk, I'll just quote it instead of going to it. I could just quote it off the top of my head. Habakkuk 2 and 3, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And we're seeing these nations, they're pretty much joining in league forming this alliance, basically to undermine, Western domination. All right. Basically weakening their economic power, if you will. And eventually, it's going to spread to, not just a trade war of currency, but also, America feels that anybody that goes against, the use of the current world currency is an act of war. So this is, the end of the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg, if you will, with them making these bold moves against the whore and the beast. All right. Primarily the whore. And this is was it pursuant to Obadiah? It said that he would make them small among the heathen and greatly despised. And this is what we're seeing. So let's finish the little clip.
In central Russia Thursday night, creating an economic bloc to challenge the West. Mr. Putin said, quote, "The process of forming a multipolar world order is underway, a dynamic and irreversible process." So they're signing up 22 new members. This is Vladimir Putin. He's got an English translation. This is him talking about how the West has weaponized the U.S. dollar to use it against his country and other nations.
That the dollar was used as a weapon. It is true, and we see that. I think it is a great mistake by those who do it, since the use of the dollar, which is still the most important tool in global finance, and its use as a political tool undermines trust in this currency, thereby reducing.
And that currency is part of that wine. All right. It talks about that golden cup, filled with the wine of Babylon. That this currency, falls into that as well. And this, currency was a straight up false balance, or is an unjust weight. All right. And they used it, like he said, to as a weapon. You gotta come up under, the usage of this currency, or we will send our military after you. And it's been that way for a while, but now these nations are starting to get bold. Now that they seeing that Russia, which is a rivaling superpower to the U.S., they're now rallying up under the Russians' lead. And this is part of the Lord stirring up the kings of the Medes, which is the modern day Russians. Okay.
Its capabilities. We are not the ones who do that. It's others. We are not rejecting the dollar or fighting against it. But if they don't let us work with it, what else should we do? We should seek other alternatives, and this is exactly what we do.
Notice he said we're not going to reject the dollar, but you're not letting us use the dollar. So we have to find an alternative pathway here.
I'm glad you picked that up, Doc.
Yeah, when we don't play your game, we don't accept your democracy and follow after your policies, you threaten us with tariffs. You strike blows to our economy. So, business still got to continue as usual. We still got to get our bread. We still got to eat. We still have to, you know what I mean? Our economy still has to run. So we're not going to come up under that yoke of this Petro dollar just because this great whore want to be a bitch to everybody. So this is what they're doing. But this shift is going to lead to what we all know. Your currency is going to be digitally based. And that's pretty much the route that everybody's taking. All right. Which is going to basically lead to what? The M.O.T. to the B. You already know it. But let's finish this video out and then we'll get a few precepts and close out. I'm not going to make this super long.
That's a really important statement he made. He made it clear. He said, basically what he's saying is, hey, we're not trying to destroy the dollar. We're not trying to take down the dollar. But you guys won't let us use the dollar.
Right.
So what are we supposed to do? You're forcing us to find an alternative. And what is that alternative? There's going to be a new semi-global currency. The dollar will not be a global currency. It will be a semi-global currency.
Right.
All right? Because it will only be used in half the world. The other half of the world is going to use a new currency. And that currency is going to be issued by BRICS. And it may be a gold-backed currency.
And that's what they're saying for now, but we know that they're ultimately going the digital route. All right, that's the set trend for the world. All right, a digital based currency. Okay, and that's pretty much the goal of the elites, is to have everybody under a digital payment plan where people are receiving universal basic income through this particular system. All right, where it's monitored, it's programmed. This is basically the new model for the New World Order. And the fact that they are joining in on this trend against the U.S. dollar to weaken it, to de-dollarize, a lot of these systems are connected to the U.S. economic system. So the moment America falls with its economy, all the other systems linked to it is going to fall. All right. And that's going to usher in what we all know. All right. But the Lord is setting this snare for a reason. Now, real quick, this is I found this post on YouTube. All right. This is a channel, one of the channels that I'm subscribed to. It says BRICS membership. It says Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, UAE. These are all members of BRICS now. All right, which Ethiopia and Iran, those two countries in particular, are prophesied in Ezekiel the 30th chapter that would be allied with Gog, which is the Russians, and that, Gog would have to be a guard unto them. So it would make sense that they would be a part of this alliance. Right. And then it says officially invited to join Saudi Arabia. And that invitation is still on the table for them. It's looking likely that they're possibly going to go that route, because they're done with America. OK. And then you have all these other ones that actually applied, all these other countries, Algeria, look at all these different list of nations. Those that expressed interest in it and them that applied. All right. So the Lord is putting these nations and arraying them against the West. You see Turkey right in the midst of those who applied for the membership, and Turkey is supposed to be a NATO ally. So this is all in accordance with prophecy. All right. Let's go here real quick. It is Obadiah verse 2. It says, behold, I'll start at 1. It says, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And you are despised. All right, you're losing your dominance. You're losing your respect. It's always shameful spewing upon you every time they have these different summit meetings. So the Lord is the one that's, putting that spirit out there, and he's setting up that snare against Babylon. Let's get Jeremiah 50 and verse 24. And it says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken. The Lord set that trap using these nations. All right, Babylon falling right into a trap, man. All right, because really using that dollar as a weapon, you use that as a snare, and now you getting ready to fall into that same snare that you digged for yourself. You about to fall into your own pit. All right. This old Babylon, and thou was not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. And you getting ready to get caught. Right now, financially, that snare is being laid. But then eventually, militarily, all right, you're going to get trapped. All right, trapped in a world war that you're only going to lose because all these nations are going to be fighting against you. And that's this whole chapter going into that. All these nations are arrayed against Babylon that hold the arrow. And it talks about how they're not going to miss. It's not going to return in vain. They're going to be like a mighty expert man, meaning with sharp accuracy when they finally point. All right. So that's what it's going to get to, after, this economic battle, if you will, because this is all part of the fight for dominance, world dominance and power, But this is going to fall in with what the elites want, because the elites, they want this anyway, where they want a global biometric digital system. So that includes your currencies as well. And they make conditioning the people with it through blockchain, all this, blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, setting up these pilot programs. The conditioning is already there. So all we got to do is just continue to watch how things made, how things are going to wind up. All right. Some people, selling stocks. Some people, they transferring their money into gold and silver and other stocks and stuff like that, because they already know what's getting ready to happen to this dollar. The dollar is going to be no more valuable. Okay. So, we know these things and we prepare for them. All right. Proverbs 22 and verse 3. And it says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. All right. And, you listen to these economists, these expert economists, they telling you that the writing is on the wall. It's going to be a few more shakeups of this economic system before they finally decide to pull the plug. All these banks all of a sudden collapsing all over the place, and people not paying attention. So we know that it's not going to hit us as a thief. Jake, they don't know what the hell is going on. Their mind is set on the political circus. All right, the theater of politics. Okay, the shenanigans with Kamala and Donald Trump. Which are two horns of the same beast. And whoever gets in is you're gonna start to see the dragon talk. All right. So I just want to do a quick, video on this. If people don't know, just keeping everybody updated on what's going on. Because we keep you updated on what's going on as far as the buildup of conflict and war in the East. World War III updates, but also we gotta be tapped in with the economic news as well. All right. So, Lord willing, y'all edified. I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And until the next one, Shalom.